YouTube. So I'm gonna go. Oh, I see something popped up here in on the screen on Zoom saying custom live streaming service is like,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Now I'm just gonna see if like this is real or whoops, I just bonked the thing here. It looks like kind of delayed. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're behind by like a few
Yeah.
seconds or something. All right. Um, okay, wait for connection with YouTube. So we are good. So I can pause live view. There we are, because that's really distracting. It's like,
Excellent connection.
all right. And then we still have some time, so that's good. Okay, pop out
Guess we should
chat.
think about what we're talking about.
That's a good idea. What do you think we should? Now we're gonna have to think well in advance what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Um,
Just pop out chat. Here we go. Pop out chat. Okay. There we are. And I can leave this there. All right. Okay. Casey co-host, invite guests, start recording on Zoom. We don't need to record because it'll be on YouTube. I mean, there's no point in recording because there's nothing to edit, basically.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I can't see myself over this thing. Okay, there we go. Hmm. I have too much shit on my screen right now, so I can't really look at the list.
Um, Judging actions, maybe.
What was that
Should,
about?
should a person be held accountable for acts they did based on how they've conducted themselves before or since? As
Hmm.
often argued in rape cases, these characteristics are cited as some sort of attempt to excuse the alleged behavior of the accused in the moment.
Can we make that into it? I think we might have already kind of covered that,
Did we?
like in a lightning round, maybe,
Maybe.
or maybe just as part of another episode. I feel.
Could be.
Actually, I got this the back window open here. I'm gonna close it because I can hear somebody mowing and it's getting annoying, or something. There's some noise that I can hear. Hmm. We could kind of make it like a whatever episode since it's kind of the first time we're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, back's a little weird. Hmm.
It's one
Trying to think
on
like
unions that we were going to do. That might be interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, we could just maybe just make it kind of like we just move from topic to topic, you know? Like some of these ones where maybe it wouldn't necessarily be a whole episode.
it's really quite hypnotic.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I think this is the best way to do it, like just as live. Although, I mean, it's going to be weird, like if we have to go to the bathroom or something. You can't edit
um,
that out.
uh, so I checked this thing. Maybe this is like an AI thing, but YouTube can detect good places to just show ads live.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be like, oh, they stopped talking and then
Oh
show some
yeah,
ads or something.
yeah.
Who
So
knows?
you do you have it up right now? Because I remember seeing something once that there was like ad incoming and it counted down or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I only noticed it like way in the video when I clicked over to
Oh,
the thing.
huh.
So maybe we were just talking over it and nobody heard us.
It's supposed to do it at different times for different people and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Well, yeah, I guess we'll play it by ear. So yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of what would be good to talk about. Like maybe, yeah, I don't know. We could just talk about the channel and like how this is the new format moving forward. Like discuss kind of our plans and things like that. Maybe just talk about our experience running a channel, you know?
yeah.
That would be good.
And if anybody tunes in, they could throw a topic idea our way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That works. So I think we have 2 minutes left. Yeah. And it's probably good to be fashionably late by like 30 seconds or something. Yeah. No, I think that that's what we should do is like talk about the channel because that would be interesting, I think. And you know, we can kind of just go through the experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And maybe just a refresher for people as far as like the concept of like why we even started the channel, you know, bring up all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like how the channel's changed and things and whatever, you know. I think it'd be good. Okay, so we're basically there. Yeah. I definitely need to like pin this up somewhere.
The stream's current bit rate is higher than the recommended bit rate. Is that bad?
I don't know. I'm not seeing that.
Huh.
Oh, maybe it's because I've got my. Oh yeah. I guess we'll let it go. I don't know what that means.
Hmm.
That's odd.
Well, I
Hmm.
think it's 8:30
Yeah,
or
alrighty. So
11:30
now, yeah,
for you.
in YouTube, click go live. Okay, so where is go live on this screen here? Do I need to scroll over or something? Hold on, I'm gonna maximize this. Where's go live? Share. Shit. How do we go live? Where's the go live button?
Maybe we are live.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Well, there's nothing to stop going live. See, this is I mean, it would be amusing for people if they're watching, but I don't see it says yeah, I have it listed in YouTube, click go live, and I don't see a thing because I remember doing that. You had to go live in both things.
Um,
I don't know.
I'm seeing
If
it says live now.
is it okay. Well, I guess we just have a bunch of random shit in the beginning.
People are like,
Oh,
oh, they don't even know they're live.
yeah, it's odd that well, because
Good
it
thing we stopped talking shit about our stupid subscribers.
yeah, exactly. um, yeah, that's bizarre. Because yeah, it's I don't know. Well, all right. I guess we'll just begin, and hopefully, it is actually live.
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right.
Uh,
Well, we didn't have anything.
hope I'm not creating a paradox here,
So yeah, I guess basically like you probably already know now if anybody is watching, or just tuning in to the pre-recorded version, that we're just basically going to talk about the channel and a lot of things about our experiences and things, which
we're a real Mickey Mouse operation.
yeah. Well, we don't usually live is very rare. We usually didn't do a lot of live episodes. So, and then I think a lot of things changed as well.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, I see one view, so that's good.
Well, that was me.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Um,
But
yeah. So like effectively, uh, like the YouTube algorithm doesn't like us at all.
mhm.
The type of stuff we talk about, and
Except maybe
the
some of
lengths.
the minute microscopy stuff we've had some engagement with.
Yeah, but like the length that we talk on the episodes and stuff,
Mm.
it's like there's definitely like long form people out there, but they're not finding us because YouTube hates us. You
Yeah,
know,
you kind of already have to have a following to be able to pull that off,
yeah.
basically.
Like after 6 full years of doing this, we haven't like blown up yet. Then we're probably not going to. So like, why not just
Yeah,
take it easy and do things like low hanging fruit style, like
yeah,
because all the editing episodes, trying to
yeah.
time it and everything.
Editing and like certain things are tricky and think well, and plus I think also our schedule, like uploading on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Us doing it now basically on a Sunday, whether it be depending on where you are in the world, is morning or evening or whatever. Most people are going to be home,
Yeah,
and so it makes sense.
yeah. And the
Um,
people that go to church probably don't like us anyway. So.
Probably not, but maybe in some places they'll be back from church, so
Right.
sit around the old telly and watch some kitchen sink microscopy.
I remember like since this is kind of like the first season episode, I remember our first episode.
Mhm.
Um, the girl I was dating at the time, we were at her apartment and tuned into it, and like I got goosebumps,
Yeah.
like seeing how like we edited everything with all the like teaser clips at the beginning, and then
Hmm.
like the theme song kicks in all badass and stuff.
Yep.
Like that was just a super cool thing, and I think it's kind of cool that we kind of like kept that intact all the
Hmm.
way through and like made like minor changes each
Yep.
season, and
The song and the intros would kind of change a little bit,
yeah.
but maintain its basic character,
Hmm.
which is cool. And yeah, I mean, I remember in the beginning we thought we'd run out of ideas, topic ideas before songs, but we actually kind of started running out of songs before. It's like, I mean, we got thousands of songs, between us, and like, although some aren't really like finished or you know
Yeah.
publishable, really, they're not that great or something. Um, but yeah, man, we've
Yeah,
covered a lot of good
and
stuff.
doing live episodes definitely saves us the hassle of trying to come up with songs for each episode,
Yeah.
which was kind of a cool gimmick, but if nobody's watching to the end anyway, then
Hmm.
nobody's hearing the music, and so what's the point? Like we put in
Yeah.
a lot of effort, and it wasn't like really panning out, but like the point of the channel was really more important than like how many people watch it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
there's documentation of good ideas now,
mhm, exactly.
which is
Well, and
important.
our thought processes of working through something, figuring something out,
Hmm.
or whatever, or coming to an agreement even if we disagree, like in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And seeing if we change our minds over time,
Hmm.
which I think here and there.
We have, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I don't. I wonder if we've changed anybody else's mind though. Like,
It's a good.
I think I asked that once on Facebook. I don't
Hmm.
remember if anybody actually said whether or not they did.
Yeah.
I feel like for the most part, people don't, of course, change their minds. But the purpose is to at least plant a seed.
Yes, exactly.
Um, so.
Hmm.
So we'll
Well,
see.
yeah. And also one thing that you brought up, which I agree with, is like even if nobody's watching, this process is very therapeutic.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's kind of just like it's like sitting down with a counselor or something and talking through stuff. It's like, especially because like both we've known each other for a really long time and
Mm.
experienced all kinds of crazy shit together, and so it's like, we're not going to be like judgy necessarily. I mean, maybe in good fun, um, but like not in any kind of like heavy way. If somebody wanted to discuss something or something, it's like no big deal.
Yeah.
And it's good to kind of get things out, like ideas and things. And I don't know, yeah. And sometimes it's like you can have times where you can kind of step away from the real world and sort of get involved in some kind of other thing. So it's good, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I've also had kind of a lot on my plate with finishing up this album that I've been working on for over 20 years or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like finally buckling down and like doing it, but it's a shit ton of work. And so
Yeah,
um but it's coming together pretty cool.
it's good.
My goal is to release it on what would have been the or what will be the 25th anniversary of Jeff's suicide.
Hmm.
Um, and so my whole idea for like doing a comic book and everything, I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, I'm not really great at drawing
Hmm.
myself. I don't know any other artists, but I do kind of like I do kind of want it to be like a very personal uh, homage to Jeff.
Hmm.
So I just decided to start drawing, and then I'm taking a picture with my phone and like using some of the filters to like make it look like a comic book, and
Hmm.
then I'll drop that into Inkscape and format it in comic book style, and
Nice, nice. That's
I
cool.
think it'll end up looking kind of cool, like
Sweet.
unique anyway.
Hmm.
um, but yeah, it's actually sounding really good. Like I've or just over the last year, I've been putting in so much effort. Like all the songs have been written for a long time, pretty
Hmm.
much. I think I did like one or two new ones in the last year, just kind of like
Yeah.
cap things off. But like I've just spent all that time like teaching myself how to do all the mixing and mastering,
Hmm.
and trying to like compare it to other songs like that are professionally done and be like, okay, how are they tweaking that to get that sound like that? How are they
Hmm.
pulling this on top of that sound and then putting it back, and learning how to do all that stuff, and it's sounding really awesome. So
Nice, nice. That's cool.
it's something to truly be proud of. And then once I put it out, I can just be like,
Yeah.
but the thing is, I put together like 19 songs, right? Because he was 19 years old. I was like, I have a shit ton of songs. I might as well do 19.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I would really want to do this vinyl release because I think that would be kind of a cool thing.
Hmm.
But the place I'm going through that does like one-off prints, so I don't have to like pay a bunch of money up front.
Hmm.
They don't do double vinyl,
Oh, yeah.
at least not yet. And so I was like, okay. So now I'm gonna do a zip file story version. It's
Hmm.
fewer songs, and they're strung together into one cohesive, well, two, because you have to flip it, two
Yeah, yeah.
cohesive tracks,
Nice.
and still tells the bulk of the story. Like enough to where it flows. Let's say.
Hmm. That's cool. That's cool.
So I'm going to do like a limited run of that, like 1,000. So it'll be worth money someday because
Hmm.
it's rare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no kidding. That's cool though. Yeah,
You
but
know,
I mean,
I learned a thing or two from capitalism about force and scarcity.
yeah, exactly. Beanie Babies, right? But well, yeah, I mean, and that's cool. I mean, yeah. Well, we were originally gonna like collaborate on it, but it's like I think it's for what you want to do, it's better for you to do it, you know.
Yeah, and actually, I like the idea of taking some of the stuff that we put aside
Hmm.
and that we've done together and you did independently, and modifying that into like a prequel story for the
Yeah,
Doctor. You know, like have that because that can be completely fictional. That can be
hmm,
whatever we want it to be. I
yeah,
mean, like of course this is all fictional as well too, but it's like based on a real person and
that
their
makes sense.
mannerisms and stuff like that. So yeah, like the little Easter eggs for his close friends and stuff like that. Like yeah, it wouldn't really make sense to have that be a collaborative effort, I guess.
No, that'd
So yeah, maybe someday a prequel could be in the
be
works.
cool. Well, yeah, we got all this music. I mean, I was kind of going to use one of the songs, I think, in sort of my own side project,
Hmm.
which is fine. Groups do that all the
Yeah,
time, like
yeah.
your own side
Well,
thing you might
I'm
include.
putting a cover song on the thing, so
Hmm. Exactly.
yeah, that's probably about the only thing in there. It's not me. Um,
Hmm.
well, and I'm gonna have my stepdaughter do the some of the voice acting for the Lisa character.
Cool. Right on.
Um, any other like tertiary character, I use like AI voice generation. So
That works. Yeah.
sounds pretty cool. Like,
Hmm. It definitely works.
yeah, we
Yeah.
should
Cool.
do like a listening party or something.
Hmm.
And
Yeah. That'd be neat. Yeah, totally. Well, like, well, I mean, and maybe we could just talk about like just the channel a little bit and
mhm,
like our experience and everything. Because yeah, in the beginning, it seemed like we could do so much stuff, and it's kind of different now. But the nice thing too, it's like what was cool is doing the little side things, right? Like the Halloween
mhm,
specials. That was a
mhm.
lot of fun.
Yeah,
And making some music videos and stuff like that. It's kind of
yeah,
nice to have a place to put that. And we had that kitchen sink university for a little bit, but those
yeah.
turned out to be really time consuming.
That was time consuming, but very cool. Like I wish uh, that sometimes I think that would be cool to resurrect, but of course, like that really is like more than a labor of love. Like that, we would,
Mm-hmm.
you can see why like a lot of education is, at least asking for a donation at the
Yeah.
very least,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's a lot of work, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if you want to make it, something that people can count on.
Yeah,
Um,
quality stuff.
yeah,
Exactly.
um, yeah,
Well, if this was
not like those like here's how to change your tire kind of videos where like guys holding a cell phone under his nose.
mm,
And,
yeah, like having proper editing and stuff like
yeah,
that. That's yeah, that takes time and
yeah,
setup and stuff like that. I mean, some of the ones that I did, it's like the amount of time just collecting everything necessary and like the post processing, like editing things. Oh man, so much effort.
so you have a new segment on the show, the Tacoma Prepper,
Mm-hmm.
and how much like is that like a lot of work too? Because I mean, you have these whole
Um,
kits that you're going
yeah,
through.
sometimes. I mean, some of the kits I've already completed, or maybe I've taken one that was half finished and added to it. And I have a lot actually. My list, it's covered up by the thing, so I can't bring it up now. But I have a long list of you know ones to do.
Yeah.
So, and those do seem to get a little bit of engagement.
Very
And
often, yeah.
it's
Hmm.
pretty easy to record as well, because pretty much it's just like I kind of do a little preamble, like maybe discussing something related to it, and then just bring the camera down, point it at the table, and take the kit apart and talk about the various components and maybe the reasons why, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so those are fairly easy to put together. In general, it's just a matter of like the setup for the camera and everything, and it. But it's it's I I enjoy doing those because I really enjoy prepping and survival kits and stuff like that. I mean, that's like one of my favorite things that I had when I was a kid was like a uh, like a Boy Scout style survival kit. I love that stuff, and that kind of, and my dad was into that too, and that kind of got me started down the journey of that. um so now I have tons and tons of kits, and lots of thoughts on various things and experiences, and it's like, yeah, I think it's good because it's like, in my mind, I feel like it won't do to be the only one who's prepared for something. I'd rather everybody be prepared, because it's like,
Hmm.
well, it, you can imagine the situation where it's like if you're the only one in the area that actually has supplies to meet whatever emergency comes up. Well, people are going to be coming to you. Now everybody's a threat, but if everybody's ready, now you can work as a team because everybody's like, oh yeah, I don't need anything, I got all the stuff. So you can work to tackle whatever problem is going on, like natural disaster or something like that, you know.
Yeah. Although it could be said that, with the power in numbers, if you bring a certain number of people under your wing
Mm-hmm.
and help them in exchange, like you have a pool of ideas for the next steps,
Mm-hmm.
because eventually that stuff will run out no matter what. So
Yeah.
like you have to be able to then go collect more things. And if you
Mm-hmm.
if you did all that when you can just go to the grocery store easy peasy, that's one thing. But now if you've got to like defend the fort and go find stuff and
Mm-hmm.
wrench it away from the hands of others, like doing
or
that
or
all alone, like
yeah, I mean, it depends. See, and that's where it's like a variety of kits are helpful. And because like, yeah, if you had, like, it depends on how long the duration of whatever situation is, like if there's a big solar flare, well, that duration could be years, you know but or like maybe a big war or something. But if it's like a localized thing, then maybe you're talking weeks, maybe a month or two, and that kind of thing. It just depends. But and that's where it's like, in my mind, like part of the reason going through all these kits is like, okay, you can have like the basic stuff, and that's where you should begin. Begin with the fundamental things, to like a 3-day emergency kit, right? Have that stuff sorted out. So it's like, oh, okay, now I'm good if, like, say there's a little power outage or something, you know, and then just start collecting more things for longer duration stuff. Like, I mean, now I have these number 10 cans with like 30-year shelf life and stuff. And so it's like, I have enough to last quite a while. And in that point in time, it's like, oh, well, what you would do, is get your team together essentially and farm. you know, You'd plant seeds and maybe some livestock somehow, that kind of thing, and set up a farm. So that's your longer term. Like if it was like a solar flare, you'd be like, well, we need to make our own food. There's
yeah,
there's only so much you can scavenge. Um, but if you can keep yourself going for a year, then that's enough time to establish some kind of farming. And so there you go. And so again, that's another thing. It's like knowing things is also helpful, like knowing how to farm. I think most people in cities don't, you know.
yeah. I imagine that's something that you can't really I mean, you could probably know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
If you're not living that life, you're not really ever become a pro at it.
Yeah. Well, that's
Um,
you need experience
at
really.
least not
And
on that scale, of course.
yeah, you need experience. So, but you can get this experience on your own, even in a city, even in an
Yeah.
apartment. If you have like a balcony, you can have some pots or buckets or whatever, and try to grow things from seeds, and just experience that, like the failures and the successes, and what works, what doesn't, and plus, then hey, you grow some vegetables on your balcony there or whatever. Well, now you got some food, and it's a really satisfying thing too to like um, consume food that you grew yourself from scratch. It's great. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I don't know if you probably remember the big garden thing that I put out back quite a while ago. That was like a big L-shaped garden, and I had like all kinds of food growing there, and it was fun. I'll tell you what, I like making your own like salad from lettuce that you grew yourself is great. Oh, and it tastes so good. Like, man,
Did
yeah.
you check that the soil was okay after all
I
that Asarco
Well,
business
I took
stuff?
the top layer down by like about that much, maybe a little deeper.
Uh,
So and then I added stuff on top of it. I don't think the Asarco stuff like went too deep. Plus
yeah, like
they tested the
that your
soil.
place was like outside the zone just barely because
Yeah.
mine was as well, and I grew up down the street from you.
Mm,
And but it did still affect the area. I remember we
yeah.
got like a letter in the mail, like if you have a garden, throw it all away, don't eat it.
Yeah.
Um,
Too little, too
whoops.
late there, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
they did do soil testing throughout Tacoma,
mhm.
and then for free replace any soil that is potentially contaminated. That was part of their
Yeah.
agreement. So I feel all right about it, and it's like didn't really I years and years and years ago, and it didn't really affect me, so I think it was okay.
Did they think that through? Did they think, oh, you know what? Like we're probably going to spew a bunch of like heavy metals into the air, um, and like if so, why didn't they just take that thing apart brick by brick very carefully? Like
Mm.
why all the like, hey, let's blow it up and
Well,
put it on the
they
news
no they did clean it, and one of the problems is like, so it was I think it was a copper smelting plant.
and
The Asarco plant was, and a byproduct that came out of the stacks had arsenic in it. And I think at the time it was kind of one of those times where they just didn't think about it. Just like, well, it's going into the air, it's fine. And then like, decades of that running, now they're
yeah.
like, oh shit, uh-oh. But it was established in a time where that was common practice, you
Yeah.
know. And obviously we know better now, and there are still copper smelting plants that don't pump out stuff.
I you know, if I had a time machine, that's probably one of the things I would do is like go back to the beginning of the industrial era and be like, hang on, guys, slow down, slow down, slow
Mm-hmm.
down. You have to think about some things.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
from the future. Yeah, because it's
there are better ways to accomplish this. Just spend a little extra time thinking about
well, it's that kind of thing that happens when it seems like there's an infinite supply of something. Like
it.
the buffalo, right? There were so many buffalo in the US when people started coming here and establishing rail and towns and stuff like that. It just seemed like it was never ending. And so, I mean, you know about that story. Like people were in trains just picking off buffalo on the hills
Oh,
just for
geez.
sport, just for fun, and nobody thought about it. Same thing with the dodo bird and stuff. It's kind of like, oh, it's never ending. This will never stop. We can just use it as much as we want, and then one day there's no dodo birds, and there's only like a handful of buffalo, and they're like, oh, uh-oh, you know. And it's fortunate that at least the buffalo, they stopped early enough to reestablish them. But
Well, and buffalo, 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 buffalo,
yeah, yep,
buffalo.
exactly. Well, and forestry is a good example of like self correction, because there's money in wood, in trees, and
That's
when
what
you
she
have,
said.
yeah, and it's like when you cut down an entire forest and don't replant, well, now you go out of business, you
Hmm.
know. So like Weyerhaeuser and stuff, they have kind of a rolling forestry system,
I
which is
saw
good.
I saw something the other day that they invented liquid trees.
Huh.
Like
Weird.
uh they're like these big glass tanks with like chlorella filled water or something.
Hmm.
So some kind of, like photosynthetic
Hmm.
agent is in there. And they were like, this would be great for like city populations. And like the joke was, somebody commented, this maybe is a dumb question, but what's wrong with trees? But like the practical answer to that is that trees take a long time to grow, and you have to like actually pay attention to them in order for them to grow. So
Yes.
like if you want to repopulate a dense urban area with
Hmm.
trees, good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a
That's
good point.
expensive shit, and
Well, you're right. And like chlorella, if that's what it is that they're using, can be grown and propagated
yeah,
very quickly.
and trees can fall and kill people, and they leave a
Hmm.
mess every autumn, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
so.
Yeah. And not good for cities, maybe for like certain
Mhm.
areas and stuff. But yeah, that's no, that's a good idea, honestly. And
Yeah,
that's a cheap thing to do.
yeah, and I wish we could do more of that stuff, like, you know uh, alternatives to trees. It's something I never even thought of, but like, the like a tree that's like not in its natural habitat, let's say,
Hmm.
is probably like doing like taking more resource than it's giving.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the
and
the chlorella thing has actually been investigated for a long time for space travel,
yeah, yeah.
like for being able to generate oxygen, like scrub the air, as
Mhm.
being like a tank that has exchangers and whatnot, and like just keeps that stuff alive, and because you can pretty much run that indefinitely with a little maintenance.
Mhm. Well, yeah, a great deal of oxygen comes from our oceans.
Yeah.
Um, and I like, what is it? 70% of the oxygen comes from the Amazon forest, but I think of that 70%, I think a great deal is from photosynthetic
Mhm.
plankton, and
I think a very large,
chlorella
yeah,
and
amount
stuff.
comes from
Yeah.
the ocean. Actually, speaking of the Amazon, there's going to be some kind of environmental, like climate conference down there in
Hmm.
that area, and the government in that area cut down like hundreds of acres of Amazon, of the rainforest, to make a road, to make it easy for all the elites to get there.
What the fuck?
Not only that, but get this. So it's like a big old highway that they're making, cutting straight through the rainforest, and they're putting a wall on either side, which, this long ass thing just cutting, basically, it will isolate those two sides now. So animals, I guess they're going to have like some kind of bridges or something, but it's like, yeah, you don't see the like hypocrisy of that, you
Right.
know, the optics. It's like this
Like
climate conference, and they're basically destroying the rainforest
like
like
we
what the
do
hell?
still make off-road vehicles. Like, just
Yeah.
use them.
Well, there is a route to the location, but they want to make like a special red carpet, path or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, God damn it.
Oh,
That's where you can
oh,
have that Greta clip where she's like, "How dare you?" You know, like that actually would absolutely apply.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
some
it's fun to
bullshit.
make fun of that kid and all, but like she's got good points and stuff.
Well, yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's like I think it's an important thing. I think it's a little over the top, but still,
mm,
obviously, keeping taking care of the planet is a big deal.
yeah, it's
Spaceship Earth,
important.
right?
Yeah, it's important for people to be passionate about something, and if there aren't enough people being passionate about it, what's the problem?
Well,
You
it'll
know,
get
having a few
forgotten
people. Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. So like that's it's not a bad thing.
I think
Um,
balance is important. So you have your passion and you can do some extravagant things to get attention, but maybe don't take it too far and don't get emotionally carried away. Right.
mhm. Yeah, it's just I can see how emotion comes into it with the environment because that's not something a handful of people can do alone.
No.
It really does involve like a global concerted effort,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
getting that to like herding cats is an understatement. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, it
like
is. Yeah.
hmm,
Well, and I think having like a rational debate and coming up with like tangible, like uh feasible solutions is the best way. Practical things that anybody can do, or like small countries or locales can manage. I mean, I
yeah,
still think like, okay, really, the obviously we take care of our trash and the things that we contaminate the environment with. That's something that's really important. We plant trees and nuclear power. There you go. Basically, problem solved. I mean, I think that's like what else can, because I mean, nuclear power is feasible everywhere. It's something that is beneficial. It's not like ultimately it makes money. So and and of course trees. That's easy.
now
you know.
that's a finite resource as well, right?
Well,
Um,
yeah, but we have enough fissile material to last for thousands of years. Depending, I mean, because you can do the uranium route or the plutonium route or thorium, and there's new discoveries being made every day. And of course, we also have the potential for fusion, which
mhm,
isn't there yet, but like it's on the horizon, like the near horizon. So if we start with, fission first, the one we know how to do really well, and basically make everything else obsolete. So it's like
yeah,
coal. What's the point of coal? We have nuclear, or whatever. And then once we finally crack the shell, so to speak, with fusion, then we have limitless energy at that point, and I think that's a good thing.
that would be
And
nice.
that's like that's why I always kind of like I'm disappointed at like various countries that do like wind and solar and stuff, because it's like that's not there are big problems with both of those, and like it's not going to be the future, like the permanent, like, oh, this is what we're going to use from here on out. Like it's just not feasible everywhere.
I mean, not to rely on, but as like an accompaniment to
Yeah.
whatever, like I think why not use that because
Oh,
it's
I agree, but like the
yeah.
amount of land that would have to be basically covered and made useless to provide the energy needs of planet Earth would be, uh, and the amount of resources needed to be yoinked out of the Earth.
I mean, there's a lot of creative stuff though.
No, I agree
A
though.
lot of
Like,
it comes from Asia. Like they have these like wind turbine things on the freeway that passing cars make it spin, and that generates energy.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Well,
Also, I think China is developing solar windows, so you can just take a skyscraper and cover it with fucking solar power
yeah.
um,
Oh
that you
yeah,
can
yeah.
see
And
through.
yeah, and
So
that
it's
that
like
that's
double purpose.
that's a good idea, and maybe also to lower the demand on whatever main power station you have. The
Yeah.
nice thing about nuclear too is it can be distributed more. You don't need a big ass power station. You can actually have like a neighborhood small reactor.
Mm.
And I mean, they make those now, like portable bus sized reactors that you could plop down anywhere.
Hmm.
And like, that's a good thing. Um, and I agree though, diversifying our energy sources is definitely important.
Yeah.
I mean,
I,
just
I, yeah, I would definitely, even if we switch to nuclear as like the primary source, I would definitely still advocate for continuing to do that because the less nuclear power we have to burn, the less nuclear waste we have to deal with also. So
well, that
because it's not completely perfect because it does still generate a waste that
it,
we have difficulty with handling.
that's true. Although there's some new reactor designs that really don't. So
Hmm.
that's like the thorium side of things is much easier to deal with. Um, and there's reactors now that are in the works that can take nuclear waste from other reactor styles and burn that too.
Hmm.
So like you could take what used to be waste and use it again. So that's kind of
That's
cool.
that's cool.
So that at least like reduces the amount of like danger
Yeah.
over time. And I think that, and that's the thing, the more we use nuclear, the more innovation will come about where people like they'll figure out ways of handling things. Obviously in the early days they just put it in casks and put it in like a salt mine or something like that and left it, you know but
Yeah.
now we have much better ways of handling that. And I think that's good. That's the direction we should be going in. It's the most eco-friendly of all. um, it's like the least impact and the most power and really the lowest cost for watt basically.
Yeah.
You get a lot for your money with nuclear.
What?
Yeah. I like how this like morphed. We're starting about talking about the channel, but actually that does relate to the channel. Like we kind of
Hmm.
meander through various conversations and somehow it's all connected, you know?
Yeah. It's a very neurodivergent channel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and one of our goals, of course, like which has been pretty much the way it's been our MO the whole time is like like kind of open-minded discussion and kind of free
Hmm.
thought essentially. And listening to the other side and that kind of thing. I think that's we've been like that the entire time, and that's it's good.
Yeah.
And that we'll obviously continue to keep that up because I think that's the kind of people we are. um and we have our opinions, but it's like, well, I this is how I feel, but okay, well, why do you think the way you think, and I want to hear.
Hmm.
Like it's a good thing. We still have certain guests that we want to have on, like a flat earther, you know,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
Sometimes I do wonder, like, what what's going on in Etienne's world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
the
he has a rumble.
anti-vaxxer we spoke with in the first season.
Yeah, I think he has a rumble channel, doesn't he?
Probably. Like I can't imagine his YouTube channel is still
No,
up and running, like with
no.
the kind of stuff he talks about. Like,
Hmm. Yeah,
but it probably is, fucking YouTube.
yeah. Well, maybe he it posts other stuff that YouTube doesn't care about.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he
maybe.
is a one-track mind kind of person necessarily. He's definitely well read. I will say that.
Yeah,
But obviously he has this kind of fixation on this one thing.
yeah.
um like it's his like he's you know taking up the mantle and charging into battle basically.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like the early days of the show were pretty cool because we did definitely have like that algorithm bump for being a new channel and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I don't even think they do that anymore. Um,
I think they do actually, because I've come across just, randomly channels that have only a few subscribers that I've
uh,
never seen before, and I go in there and the comments are like, oh wow, I never heard of you before, this is cool, you know.
hmm,
Like the Ray Productions, the little comedy sketch things that are really great,
huh.
like a young person putting together these funny little videos that just reminds me of like stuff that like me and Mario used to do back in the day, like these goofy videos.
Hmm.
Uh, and so it's like that's good. Channels with very few views and stuff. Every once in a while, I've looked and like looked for channels that have like no views, or videos that have no views, or channels that have no subscribers. And you find some weird stuff in there, but you also find some gold sometimes.
Hmm.
Somebody that like it's like a high school student. This is one that I came across, like a high school student that did a video as part of a class or something, and just used YouTube to host it so he
Huh.
could share it with the classmates. And it's like, like I came across that before. It's like that's really cool.
Hmm.
um and yeah, and that's one thing too that I think is kind of special about our channel, is how like diverse it is in terms of content. Like we started off with long form videos, and then you added the minute microscopy, so we added that into the mix. And then I think, well, we had the specials, of course. I don't remember who uploaded, like maybe I uploaded some kind of music video, maybe you did, I don't remember. But that became a thing, like we'll randomly upload these videos, and
Yeah.
we have like some side project sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think I did like a lyric video of one of my songs, and then
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then uh and then I think I made a music video for the Tears of the Eagle for the 9/11 episode. I was like,
That's
oh,
right.
that needs a video. Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, like that kind of stuff is pretty cool.
And then I think I came in with like taking a song that somebody else wrote, just like
Yeah.
and making a music video with like a
Mhm.
clip montage essentially, um, which is a lot of fun to do, but my God, does it take time.
Yeah, it does.
Like finding just the right clip to fit. Like,
Hmm.
man, there have been a few where it's like I see some video and I'm like, that would fit this song perfectly, you know. And
Yeah.
then I have to, then it's like 4 in the morning and I'm finally wrapping it up. Like, oh geez, I thought this would be quick.
Yeah, I did that for a couple of songs, and one of them was like a 6 or 7 minute long song, and that was a lot of clips.
Oh God, yeah,
Right.
no kidding.
Oof.
And of course, we can't monetize those, but like, it's nice to just have it up there,
Mm,
like a fan video for a song. I would often do videos for songs that don't have an official video, because I
yep.
feel like, hey, there should be a video of some sort for this song.
Yeah. And
And
sometimes those become really popular.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's another way of just getting somebody to see that the channel exists. Because honestly, too, it's like there's kind of something for everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
I
really,
just
that's what's
wish
so good.
people understood that.
I know. Well, if YouTube understood it and promoted it, you
Right.
know.
It that's always the way. Like I'm running into something similar here in Germany.
Mm,
This whole idea that like you have to specialize in something. Like
mm.
your YouTube channel has to be about a thing.
Yeah.
Like you can't vary from that thing. And it's like, well, how are you supposed to come up with content week
Mm,
after week after week about the same thing?
mm.
Like even if you can, that shit's gonna get dull.
Yeah.
Like how many flat Earth videos can you debunk? How many flat Earth videos can you like how many ways can you spin the same shit and keep people engaged? Like I don't understand
Yeah.
how that works.
Well, like one of the channels that I watch all the time, Simon Dan, he does mostly flat Earth or like he has tinfoil Tuesdays, so it's like kind of woo stuff that he'll respond to. Um, and then he's kind of added a few more things too. Like he does like the that game that you it like it's basically Google Street View, and it drops you in a random location. You're up against another person, and you have to really quickly figure out. You basically put a little tack where you think it is, and
Hmm.
whoever's closest gets points. And so he's done a few of those, and that's kind of fun to watch. But it's like, and I think that's the thing is like you get maybe burnt out after a while of kind of going over the same stuff over and over
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
And so yeah, because I don't remember what his channel started off as, but he took off when he did the flat Earth stuff years ago.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like if we did something similar now, we would just become like a prepping channel.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hmm.
That's what kind of gets like the most views at the moment. Usually, like
Hmm.
every now and then we get attention on something for some
Yeah,
reason, but
I know it's kind of weird. That's
but
just like I don't know how that
not
works.
that much. Like 50, a few hundred maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's difficult. But
It is for sure.
I feel like even in our first season, we accomplished enough to be proud of. Like we had an episode real early on that made people cry, like in a
Yeah,
good way.
the
Um,
family episode.
yeah, just
Yeah.
stuff like that is worth um, it's worth
Oh
doing
yeah,
it
for
all.
sure. And it's just sort of like it's nice to know that the things that we've done are out there, and
Hmm.
available if somebody wants to see it, you know.
And the other nice thing is like we've got some videos to go back to of people that have passed away already.
Yeah,
Randy and Big James.
exactly.
And we never had Kelly on the show, but we did an episode for him.
Yep. Yeah.
Told some stories about him. Like
Mm.
it's nice to have that stuff to
It is. It definitely is. Yeah.
and I think the families appreciate that too.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, so I think that basically going forward, we're still going to do like our weekly things. Lightning strikes twice. Minute microscopies. I don't know. That's kind of we kind of determine it sort of just whenever,
yeah,
because that does get a little bit. It's kind of like coming up with a topic and having to get it put together, and like
hmm,
sometimes they can take way longer than you'd think. You
yeah.
know,
They
like
they they tend to take longer than a full episode.
I know they do. Yeah. Like, yeah, sometimes they edit too, because maybe you
Mhm.
have a clever thing you want to add to that. And yeah, and it's like oftentimes like I'll get my cat will come up and start screaming or something. So I gotta start over or cut and then regain my train of thought and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
so there's like always, yeah, it takes a long time. Um, but I think but yeah, well, lightning strikes twice is pretty easy to do. And I think those are pretty fun.
Yeah,
Um, People always loved our lightning rounds, so that's a good thing. But yeah, moving forward, we're gonna be live on Sundays, like this time slot, basically,
yeah,
as many times as we can. I think if there's obvious times where we can't for various reasons, so we
yeah,
may have like I don't know what we'll do with that because typically we have like a lead, like a pile of episodes in a stack. They're waiting.
yeah. I mean, I think we're finding that like the sky doesn't fall if we
Mhm.
miss a week or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
um, like there's probably no reason to really stress over that.
Yeah.
going forward. And like it's a pretty impressive run to have like 6 years of very consistent,
Hmm.
very like let's say consistent quality,
Yep.
consistent timing, um,
Well, and that's good because I mean, in my mind, it's like
huge
it's really
diversity of
hard to
topics.
do with just two people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it is impressive that we could like be so consistent.
Yeah.
And the only exceptions I think were like when there was a unavoidable thing, like, oh, something's happening, we can't record this day or whatever, but we still uploaded, you know
Yeah.
which is and not only that, it's like okay, that would still be impressive if we just had weekly long form episodes, but we had weekly long form and weekly short form, you
Yeah.
know and the once we added lightning strikes twice weekly, that too. So
Yeah.
you know now we've like added to our workload, and we haven't added any staff.
Or any income.
Nope. Yeah, I think we made like $1 or something, right? Like nothing. And yeah, it's yeah, I'm, God, it's just I'm just thinking about it. It's like fuck, it's so impressive. Like I think if we had a third person who was not in the show, that was like the curator, the editor, and uploader, um, it would be way, way easier to do, you know,
Yeah.
where we could just upload raw and somebody else would edit, all we got to do is record, you
Yeah.
know, like I think we would be that would be yeah, definitely a different thing for sure.
Yeah.
But I think what our kind of conclusion though is like live YouTube tends to push that higher. And plus I think more people are likely, once they figure this out, to engage, like to watch, because now they can actually live communicate with us and introduce topics or whatever, things like that. Um, and being on a Sunday, I think more people are going to be available to watch.
That was one of the fun things, is like having people throw topics at us
Yeah.
live in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And that one time on my 40th birthday, live on stage, that was
Yeah,
super cool.
that was
Um,
cool. Yeah, with an audience and everything. Yeah, that was really cool.
can't
Yeah.
get much of a better 40th birthday than
No, I know that was cool. That was great. And except the only thing that probably kind of made it suck a little bit, or maybe not be as good as it could have been, is that all that snow. So,
and the weird like technical issue
mhm.
with the I don't know what caused that, but like our voices were all slowed down.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. Very
It's
strange.
like having a conversation with Paul Robeson on dope.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's better that it lowered our voices rather than made us sound like we're, breathing helium. Yeah. That was fun. I like that. That's something I would definitely do again.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that was good. It's almost something that'd be like, if we lived in the same general area, we could like do that regularly. Like find a venue and just
Hmm.
do it. That would be awesome. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm certainly it's been good, and there's obviously going to be more new cool stuff and these live things, which hopefully will get some traction.
Yeah. Well,
Once we work out the bugs of getting things connected.
since nobody's jumped on and we didn't have a specific topic, suppose we could probably wrap up, but maybe next week we could have something in mind ahead of time that we're gonna talk about, and
Yeah.
because we usually just well, the thing people maybe don't even realize is that when we, even though we would pre-record, we would just decide like 2 minutes before we hit record, like what we were gonna talk. So
Yep. Yep.
we
Exactly.
usually didn't have preparation time, so now we'll have to kind of make adjustments and maybe actually be prepared with something.
Yeah. Well, one thing about this show that I think has improved, for me for sure. I don't know about you, the ability to like think on the fly about anything, like the lightning rounds and all that stuff. I mean, the live one was even crazier because it's like, you know, there were we didn't, none of us knew,
Yeah.
neither of us knew, but it's like that is a skill, and over the years I think we've gotten pretty good at it, and debate and keeping the conversation flowing and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. That's good. So it's like, this is a we're like masters of that now.
I'm just waiting for the day we do a TED talk.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, like, I remember early on, we had our topic lined up in advance, like well in advance, like a week early or something. We'd be like, yep, we're going to do that or whatever. And I remember I had like notes on things and links
Mm.
to stuff and whatnot, and stuff that was like, oh yeah, I can add this into the mix in the conversation. But then it's like, we just wing it now.
Yeah.
Just use the knowledge that we have, which
Yeah.
is
I mean,
kind of
that would
fun.
be something that would come in handy to have like another person editing things that could throw in visuals and sources and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, like in the video at the
Yeah,
at the moment.
exactly.
But we're not pro enough for
No,
that.
no, not rich enough.
Right. Yeah.
We're not rich enough to be pro.
Just a little fish in a big pond.
Exactly. Oh man. Well, I mean, at least now it's up. People can watch it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah. I don't think I have anything additional. I mean, we've been jaw jacking for about an hour now, so I
Yeah.
think that's sufficient.
Yep. Yep. Well, yeah. Yeah. Tune in next week. And we'll have something specific to ramble about, and we'll probably still be jaw jabbering at
Yep.
this time.
No doubt we'll get off track again, as we
Yeah.
always do. And then somehow find a way to link it all together.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
thanks
Well,
for deep sync living with us.
yeah, I haven't used the on air thing in a long time.
I got to get me one of those.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Because when it's on you, then I built that, just out of wood and stuff,
Hmm.
and some LEDs and things, and yeah, kind of like the little binary counter thing behind me. It's basically the same thing, just lights up.
So many people were like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because the pattern is not really recognizable. You can tell that it repeats, but it doesn't necessarily. It's not something that everybody would just like. Oh yeah, I know what that is. You
right.
know. Yeah.
It's actually telling time, right?
It's just counting.
Oh, it's
It's
just counting.
counting in looping. It'll loop through. I should build a clock that does that though. That would be sweet. Oh
Yeah.
man.
What time is it?
Yeah.
Uh, three dripping one
Yeah.
over two.
Oh, hold on. Let me get my scientific calculator out and do the conversion. Yeah.
Three dripping one over two. Oh my God. I've only got four drips left. Gotta go.
Exactly. Oh man. All right. Well, this is good. So tune in to next week and we'll be doing it again, more than likely.
Wee.
All right. So okay, how'd you turn this off then? Oh, there we go. Uh okay, there we go. I just there's a confusing pop-up. Okay,
Did
I think we're good.
oh yeah yeah yeah.
Okay.